Welcome to the Eye of the Storm, sponsored by Florida International University's International Hurricane Research Center and the Florida Division of Emergency Management. I'm meteorologist Eric Salna with the FIU International Hurricane Research Center. In this video, you're going to learn all about pet preparedness. It's very important not only for you to have a plan, but for their pets to have a plan as well.
My name is Sherry Wachter, and I am the Vice President of Marketing here at the Humane Society of Broward County. I actually started here as a volunteer more than 20 years ago. I loved animals growing up. I always wanted to work with animals, and I was fortunate enough to find a passion and a job that I absolutely love.
Hi, Dex. What are you doing? You saying hi? You saying hi to everybody? Yes, you're a sweet boy, aren't you? I know.
My name is Dr. Singh. I'm one of the staff veterinarians here at the Humane Society of Broward County. I've been here for about 4 years. I graduated vet school about 12 years ago. Prior to that, I worked in general practice and emergency. I made the transition to shelter medicine about 4 years ago, and I don't think I've been happier since. Working in a shelter is an amazing experience. So there are so many animals like our little Ginger here that we get to help and find good homes for.
The Humane Society of Broward County, we are a nonprofit organization. We have been part of the community since 1944, so we've been here for a very long time. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on support from the community to help us care for the animals every single day, whether there's a storm coming or not. And each year we take care of thousands and thousands of homeless animals, animals that are given up because their families can no longer take care of them, and sometimes animals that were brought to us from other shelters, so we can find them forever homes. This little kitty here is Remy. He's about 14 weeks old. He's just one of many pets that are looking for families that are going to love them forever. We are in hurricane season, living in Florida. We have to be very well aware of this. My little kitty friends of course, here want to be protected during hurricane season, so we want you to include them in your hurricane plans. If you have a pet at home, while you're preparing for your family, you need to make sure you include your pets in your hurricane preparations.
One of the biggest things I would say is identification.
So many pets get lost after storms, and a collar with an ID tag is a visible sign of identification. If your fence blows down and you don't realize it and the dog wanders away, but our phones aren't working, an ID tag with your address is your dog's ticket home.
I'd highly, highly recommend a microchip and making sure the pet is registered to you through that microchip. Collars and tags can come off, and if for any chance you're separated from your pet, make sure that you have that microchip and it's registered to you so you guys can be reunited. The second thing I would say is medical records. Make sure you have a copy of those medical records in your go bag for the hurricane. That includes a copy of an up-to-date rabies certificate and any medications they need.
And also a recent photo of you and your pet. Snap a picture of those important documents so that you have them on your phone, and that's always going to be with you.
That's vital, because when you're on the road, you may get stopped at a hotel saying, okay, where's your rabies certificate? And they're not going to let you stay there unless you have that complete, that as well as your complete medical records. The last thing I would say is if you do have to evacuate, have a plan in place. So know where on your way you can stop that has like pet-friendly hotels, places where you can rest stops where you can walk your dog. I think that's another really important part of hurricane pet preparedness.
Now, it's also important to remember, if you live in an evacuation zone, that you include your pets when you're leaving. You don't, under any circumstances, want to leave your pets alone either in the backyard or in your house if you're leaving your home. If it's not safe for you, it's not safe for them. So now's the time to plan ahead. Check with a friend or family member to see if they will welcome you and your pets into their home. There are certain shelters that will allow pets, but most Red Cross shelters do not accept pets. The shelters that do allow pets, it's not a drop-off service. You have to stay there with your pet. So again, you need to make sure you have your supplies to take with you if you plan on going to a pet-friendly shelter. Come on, Oliver. Oliver. So as we go into hurricane season, I can't stress enough the importance of including your pets in your hurricane plans. If you're going to the grocery store to buy your food, make sure you include your pets. And again, a collar with an ID tag can be your lost pets ticket home. If your pet has a microchip, make sure the chip information is up to date. Make sure your pet has up-to-date vaccinations and you have proof of the rabies and a Broward County or county license tag for the county in which you reside. Because if you do evacuate, if you go to a Red Cross shelter that allows pets, if you travel on a plane with your pet, you're going to need to have proof of vaccinations. And you just never know what that storm's going to do, and hopefully everyone's going to be safe, but the last thing you want to do is have to worry about looking for a lost pet after a storm. For some pets that get nervous with change, now's the time to talk to your veterinarian to see if possibly there's some natural remedies that you can give the pet and just to keep them calm. My little friend down here would like to pack his orange little toy here to keep him entertained in case he has to go somewhere.
Pets can't speak to us. They can't tell us, okay, I'm sorry, yesterday I ate some bad berries in the backyard and now my stomach is upset. So as the veterinarian, your job is to be a detective and try to figure that out using, your physical exam findings, blood work, x-rays, to try to create a picture to figure out what the issue is so you can solve it. And then when you do solve it, I think there's a great joy in knowing that you made that animal feel better. So as a veterinarian, we get to wear many hats. If you have an issue, you go to your doctor, he'll run blood work. If he takes x-rays, those x-rays go to a radiologist. If you have a hurt tooth, you go to a dentist. As a veterinarian, we kind of have to do all of that as a general practitioner. If there's an issue with your dog's teeth, we're going to be the ones doing the cleaning and the extractions. If there's an issue with if they're vomiting and having diarrhea, we're going to be the ones that you see for that. There are veterinary specialists out there, but your veterinary GP is going to be your first line that you go to. If you want to be a veterinarian, the first thing you have to do is love animals. And if that's what you want, then go for it. There should be nothing holding you back on why you want to be a veterinarian. If you love animals, you love to help them, if the joy in life is seeing a pet that doesn't feel good and making them feel better, then I think that veterinarian is the right career for you. I think when it comes to science classes, they're not easy, but you have to figure out the way that best works for you to study. So some people are auditory, meaning that they learn by listening. So they'll actually record their professor's lectures and listen to them over again. Some people are visual learners. They need to actually see what's going on. What best worked for me was to write my notes over and over again. So figuring out the best way for those challenging science classes to work for you, I think is a big clue to conquering them.
Are you a good girl? Hello, Miss Little Beauty. What are you doing? Shadow, what's going on? So you had lots of people apply for you last night. You want to say hi?
As we go into hurricane season, I can't stress enough the importance of being prepared. And while you're preparing for your family, make sure you include your four-legged friends in those plans as well.
So we have 4 male North American river otters. Their names are Jafar, Joey, Linus, and Terry. All 4 of them come from the wild and were rescued, so we don't know their exact ages. Their day starts off every morning with us greeting them, checking on them, making sure everybody's okay and is awake. Joey likes to take a little bit longer to get up than everyone, so normally it's us kind of going, come on Joey, get out of bed. And then we send the boys out for the day and they get to play in the exhibit all day long. At the end of the day, they come in and they get fed again and trained again, and they get their own little beds.
I'm the life science manager here at the Museum of Discovery and Science. During hurricane season, if we see a big storm, specifically for the otters, we'll order a bunch of their food, 2 types of fish, capelin and herring, and we also give them some carrots and crunchy dog food, which we can store in our freezers. We have a generator here that will kick on if the power goes out to keep the freezers going. And also we store 4,000 gallons of filtered fresh water here at the museum for all our animals in general. If something should happen to the water supply, we have plenty of water stored.
So for us, we're very lucky that this exhibit is built to withstand a hurricane, and they took that into consideration. So for us, the exhibit's very easy to do. We just take all the toys out of the pool, and then the boys have this specially made night house where we can open, and they have this long run and this controlled area and this play area. So they get this whole area to play with 2 pools, and they have a blast, and they don't even really know what's going on.
Thanks for joining us for another Eye of the Storm. In this episode, we learned about how you can prepare your pets for hurricane season. You know, here at the museum, we care for our animals, and we want to make sure that all of our animals, just like our otters, are prepared for hurricane season. So now you have the skills to prepare your family and your pets for hurricanes. As always, we want to thank our partners, Florida International University's International Hurricane Research Center, and our sponsors, the Florida Division of Emergency Management, for making these Eye of the Storms possible. Come visit us at MODS and follow along all season long at MODS FTL. Thanks so much, and see you next time on Eye of the Storm.